homemade chili.
Let's go live. Is there a way we can figure out how to possibly get Novak on there? He's getting all excited.
Is he?
Yeah. You know?
We want him.
I think we are live. We will figure out how to get Novak on there.
He's getting all excited.
Yeah.
I believe we are live right now.
Where's our chat log?
I'll get it.
I think we might still be in a delay. Okay, all.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
I have very little lag tonight. I hope that stays that way. I got to take off those headphones because I hear the echo. All right. Let's see. We're watching the Monday night game. Got Terrence Miles here and Mark Ussery. This is Kirk Russell. We're going to focus a little bit on kick-catch interference, but as I indicated in the message, we'd go live at 7:30, and then once we get into halftime on the NFL game, we'll shift over and focus on the KCI storyline. And as always, we were talking through some of the plays before we got started here, and we got all sorts of material. We're all over the place and excited about looking at film and getting feedback. So bear with us. I'm gonna start off. We're gonna just show some miscellaneous stuff that I have stored in this arsenal of plays. Let me see which number I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna go with 51.
Okay.
And it's sometimes, not only are we talking about kick-catch interference, but anytime if we're talking kick-catch interference, we're dealing with punt plays. Actually, Ussery, I need to set this up so that it circulates the same play over and over. Loop, there we go.
We have kick-catch interference on a kickoff?
We can. That's a great question. Terrence was just asking about kickoff situations in high school. A kicking team cannot touch a kick that has not been grounded ever on a kickoff, on a free kick.
Okay.
Our rule says that ball has to hit the ground and go 10 yards before K can touch it.
Okay.
I shouldn't say touch it. If it's airborne, it'll be kick-catch interference. So if you scoop the kick and it goes 11 yards, you still can't come underneath and catch it.
So if I do an onside, kicking the ball on the ground, kick-catch interference is off automatically.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. If it's on the ground,
okay,
there would be no KCI. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So even if it were to bounce around and pop up high, still no KCI. Okay. Yep. Good question. And we have teams that'll scoop kick that and it'll catch us by surprise. And that's why I always say, when we talk pregame, one of the critical pieces in pregame is to talk about opening kickoff, because especially this time of year where a team's trying to take advantage of a situation, coach says, let's just try something different, catch them off guard, that kind of stuff. So KCI, and that could be in front of anybody. It could be in front of the umpire. It could be, 10, 15 yards downfield, things like that. So, yeah, good question. So this particular play that's looping through here is just an example of some of the crazy stuff that can happen on punt situations. This one looks like the wind's blowing pretty hard. You can see the line of scrimmage. I'll stop it right here. You can see the line of scrimmage is about the 18-yard line.
Okay.
And so the ball will bounce, and I think it actually bounces. It hits about the 17.
Okay.
See it right here?
So, hey, Kirk, can you back up a little bit on that?
Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do, guys, is we should be aware all the way to you'll see in a minute. We should be aware of environmental conditions. Look at those pylons back there. They're all blown over, so we know the wind is blowing into his face. So think about environmental issues too wind, sun, things like that. And you'll see the flag here where it's blowing straight back.
Another note here is the referee is right near the goal line. I just be right on that goal line in this case. That goal line could be threatened, especially with the wind the way it is. So we've got a punt that bounces around right at the line of scrimmage and then goes behind the line of scrimmage. We've got the receiving team moving forward. Do we have possession? No, I don't think there's any way that's a possession.
Still a kick, right?
So it is still a kick. Yes, great,
That's right.
great comment.
Still a kick.
That's a critical piece here. This ball is still a kick. So if K, right now, the blue team, if he wouldn't have rolled on that, if he'd have got up and run with it, that is legal. He can advance that ball and get a first down.
Is he down though by contact or by rule or something?
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't need any contact. He's down.
So he's down.
Yeah,
right
this
there,
is.
right? So he couldn't have. I mean, he can't advance.
He cannot advance it once he goes on his knees right there. No,
Okay.
that play was over.
Okay.
Yep. But the issue is if K wants to pick that up and advance it, they can.
Because it stayed behind the line of scrimmage.
Because it stayed behind, or it is recovered behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
That's the kick critical piece. It's
Okay.
all about the line of scrimmage and where K recovers
the
that.
ball.
Okay.
So I also say that it is critical that this head linesman at the fourth down marker there, he stays at that line of scrimmage like a statue until this ball is in possession of the receiving team.
It's kind of catchy too, Kurt.
I shouldn't say that. That's not right. He can't wait until it's in possession of the receiving team. It's when the ball crosses the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But even then, if we're in a windy situation, this ball might have been considered crossing the line of scrimmage, but it rolled back behind.
Okay.
So we don't want to just vacate that line of scrimmage. Same thing on a busted play, fake punt, things like that. That guy is right on the line of scrimmage to rule on ineligibles downfield, whether the pass went beyond the line of scrimmage, stuff like that.
So one of the things to point out too is, typically we like our line judges leaving at the snap, but again, we need to have him go back once that ball didn't get kicked. So I wouldn't be in a big hurry because of the wind conditions to leave. And that line judge now is really going to have to get back. You see him at the bottom of the screen. He's going to have to get back there and help on that goal line. I think that was a good mechanic by the line judge.
And we were just looking up what the mechanics manual talks about. So even if this was a sunny, no wind day, we say that the line judge and the head linesman really don't move downfield beyond about halfway on the kick. We don't want to go too far. We don't want to go too short. A lot of times you kind of got to work with the situation you're in. But in this case, that line judge would think to himself, it is a windy day, likely not a deep punt. Possibly balls can even bounce backwards. All those things I think are good pre-snap thoughts.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
Now, next play.
Did we go to halftime yet?
Yeah, almost.
Let me see what play number this is, 62. I'm not going to show this one. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, this is a good one here. Let's talk a little bit about kickoff coverage, guys.
Go ahead, Mark.
So we know who has the restraining lines, things like that. But I think the key on kickoff coverage is we have got to not watch the ball. Let's not officiate the air. Nothing going on with the plays.
Now, in general, we break up this crew here. The back judge here would have the middle three. The near wing official would have this side of four, and then same on the other side. The other wing has the other four. And we break that up just on the initial contact. Obviously, once that initial contact breaks up, we're now got to go into just covering the play, covering the zones.
So let's go back Kurt, a little bit here. So let's look at the umpire right here on that, right there. What's he looking at, guys?
I think he's looking at that receiver. You can read the bill of the hat pretty well.
We're not.
So where should he be looking?
You should. we want them to look upfield towards the 20 up there. Those issues up there.
That second level of contact, I think, is a critical spot, and that's where he needs to train his eyes. There's nothing he can help with back there where that ball is received. Is this halftime out there?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go back to...
No, let's finish this play out here,
Yeah.
Kurt.
Okay, all right.
Let's look at the comments on this play. Why are we skipping through the comments?
Sorry.
Just let it play.
You're... There we go.
There we go.
So, umpire, where are you looking? I'm going to let it play out here to the next comment. So now we've got a... Terrence, I think you identified that as a possible hold here, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's a takedown.
So how are we picking up this play, guys?
Is that the outside third?
Well, it's almost the middle, but I think the head linesman over there that started off on that side, see him circled now?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's his area?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So is this a takedown, Terrence? Let's look at the foul itself.
Look at the shoulders dipping. I mean, this is the only shot that we have, but I mean, a player's just not going to dip his shoulders down.
You don't think he's going to naturally do that?
No. Just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So that's another thing, like we were talking about last week, body mechanics and stuff. I mean, that's not a normal motion for him to dip down and actually go to the ground. So in my opinion, that's a takedown right there.
Yeah, good call.
And the runner is still upright. So I didn't think that would be a hold. So my question to you guys, though, let's say you have that takedown action and the runner is getting tackled at the same time. From a philosophy standpoint, or what you guys do as an association, do you still want to call that hold?
That's a great comment. I don't know that we've ever gone that deep. I think that's your wisdom being brought into our level, I think is valuable. I think that's a great concept, though. If that hold is when the tackle is made, what influence did that hold have on the play? Is that really where that philosophy comes from?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The unfortunate side of that statement is the coach sees this hold and doesn't give a rat's whether it was when the player was tackled or prior to the player was tackled. And
you could just tell him, hey, it didn't have an effect on the play.
Had no impact.
This was your team. Would you want me to call that on you?
Yeah, right.
But then they lie to you and they say yes.
Okay. And you just move on.
Let's see the next comment.
All right, so let's play this out and get to some KCI.
So the kid running down the sideline here.
So this is entertainment here. Who's got the sideline runner? Whoa, gotta get back.
Nice.
You guys see us here, right here? This is classic. He got excited. He got downfield.
Let
me play it out here. He's on the run. He's excited. Going all the way. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Back. Back.
That is hilarious.
All right. Can I get to some KCI here?
Well, what's our next play?
All right. I got to get back here a ways.
So we're talking KCI, coverage, transition, all that kind of stuff. Right?
KCI play. Let me go back to the top of our list. Oh, maybe that is the first one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
go to the second one.
They go big now. All right, we got pretty good video. Anything we're thinking at pre-snap here?
So
looks like we got a lot of confusion on the front team.
Pause it for a second, Kurt.
Okay.
So one of the things you like, just what Kurt said. How many times do we see in a punt situation the kid fell asleep or the starter got hurt? Now the substitute didn't realize the starter's hurt. So we got to be aware of late substitutions coming in, and especially referees and umpires, make sure you get your count down. Then it goes to the wings to have enough men on the field and how many men are in the backfield.
Yeah, so now they made it a little easier for us because we're just counting backfield. So
now let's look at something else here, Kurt. At the bottom of the screen,
okay,
right here, right here. What do we got? guys. Press coverage.
What is the definition of press coverage?
I think you taught us a little jingle here earlier. What is
what-
press coverage?
You tell me.
If you can touch him, you're impressed.
So if I can reach out and touch that guy across from me, we're gonna call that press, right?
Reach out and touch somebody.
Okay, exactly.
That's a press coverage, guys. So our wing guys on punt coverage now have to recognize this. They have to recognize that.
So it's one thing to recognize it. Now, what are we going to do with that information? I
Exactly.
think that's a critical piece to this.
So what's the next step of that? If he's pressed, then what are we thinking?
We got to think hold.
There's suspicion there that on the line of scrimmage there might be a hole.
Hold,
And
hands to the face. You guys
hands to
have
the
that,
face.
all
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are all good things to now pay attention to. And I think just the opposite. If you don't have press coverage, let's not officiate something that ain't going to happen
Exactly.
until it's downfield. So we can utilize our eyes elsewhere. All right. So we've got a snap, kick. This is a modern era punt. We've got the umpire in the backfield. I'm going to back this up and hit play so you guys can see at normal speed. The ball's bouncing around.
So once the ball hits the ground, let's talk about who has ball responsibility and then who's looking away from the play.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that we've had in the past. And I think it's important for us to talk about. This is a coverage situation. We don't need more than one official watching these 6 home team players escorting this ball as deep as it should go.
Exactly.
That is wasting a set of eyes. And so you can see the line on the screen. Wings, we want you looking back into the mixed color of players at this point.
Correct.
The more eyes we have back in mixed colors, the better. Leave this action alone in this case. And even as far to say at this point, is the spot of this ball, now I know it's inside the 5, but
Yeah,
I think, go ahead.
I agree. I think, Kurt, you're going down the path that it's not the back judge has the spot. All the other officials need to make sure colors are separating and everything else here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just eyes on players that are interacting. We always talk about the players that are on special teams are a lot of times players that want to make a name for themselves. They've been standing on the sideline. They want to hit somebody. They came out to play football. The coach has got me standing on the sideline to tell the punt team, I'm going to hit somebody if I can. They might take a shot. And then they get chippy. I think we all see those JV kids that are playing on special teams get chippy.
So what you're saying, it's fair to say our antennas should go up even more.
Big
Our
time.
heightened level should go up even more.
Dead
right?
ball on those punts. Heightened level of
Awareness.
Look
would it be the same at the NFL level?
Absolutely.
Same story?
Oh, same
Making a
story.
name
It
for
doesn't
themselves.
change. Exactly.
Yeah. Love it how it's the same game. Same game, just bigger, faster,
That's all.
monstrous players.
Kurt, we got a comment here from Kevin Palmer.
Okay.
And in press coverage, I like this comment. PSK is important to think about, too. Because if you have a hold while the ball is in the air, what do we have?
PSK, balls in the air,
And a hold occurs.
and a hold by
By
R.
R.
So
During the kick.
we're during the kick.
During the
The
kick.
window of the kick is open. We're going to go PSK administration on the foul.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
you gonna force it from?
From the end of the kick
Okay.
And when does the kick in?
when possession occurs.
Possession,
Possession occurs.
not touch.
So does the back judge beanbag that?
That
End of
he
the kick?
does.
He beanbags possession or touching.
Which one?
Possession and touching. They're both. He has 2 beanbags.
Yeah, two
Oh, he
beanbags.
does. Okay.
Yep. He carries
So he does
2.
possession and the end of the kick.
End of the kick for that enforcement spot.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's important to let the referee know when you have a foul,
If it's
the
PS,
time that it
Yeah.
happened, right?
right.
Was this during the kick or was this during the return?
There you go.
Right?
Great. Yep.
Yep.
We got to have that information conveyed to the
Because you got to think that the referees don't know exactly what happened out there. So you need to paint the picture for the referee, the what, when, why, and how of what happened.
Absolutely. And I can't say that we are really good at that. I think it takes time to develop those techniques when you communicate with the white hat, what information is valuable and what's not.
Yeah.
And you're walking through the critical pieces. When did it occur? What was the status of the ball? Who it was on?
Exactly.
And certainly if we can get to a level with our officials, to actually start processing that it will be a PSK foul even helps the white hat even more. I know Ussery appreciates that.
Okay.
I'm dumb enough as it is. Let's see the next one, Kurt.
All right, so here we go with the next play out of DPS. I think this might be the same game. Okay, so let's see what we got for a foul here at the line of scrimmage.
So again, a lot of confusion at the beginning of the play. We have players coming on late, and look how they're lined up.
I think we've got an issue with alignment here. What's legal here? Is it where the helmet breaks the hip of the snapper?
Right.
So if they went down on a 3-point stance, they'd be okay.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
So how many we got in the backfield now?
So it could be considered ticky-tack. You like this foul, Mark?
I do, because I count 4. So the guy, our line judge at the bottom of the screen has his arm punched back. So there's 1.
Yeah, you definitely have 4 right here.
Plus the punter.
Oh, we got a punter back there. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought we were debating this. No, this is an obvious thing. If you're going to put him off the line of scrimmage.
But let's think about this. What should he be? Make him what he should be, right, Terrence?
Correct.
Try to make him what he should be.
So maybe we should have made him on the line. Was he close enough to being on the line?
Your point is this kind of commits us to a flag.
Exactly.
You can't put up your arm here and not throw the flag. And obviously he ruled him like that. That's why I like that signal. Coach can't debate whether the kid was on or off. You ruled him off. And you said he's off, and the players are to look at us and get that kind of information if they need it.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say this is the first punt of the game. Is there a time that we may warn them to, hey, move up, or tell the special teams coach, or we just flag them right away?
Well, what I like to do is a wing guys, if that wing guy trotted out to me and is looking at me, I'm going to put my leg out and say, here is your line.
Okay.
Then if he backs off that line, then that's going to indicate to me what? He's off the line.
Okay.
But try to coach him up a little bit here and say, here's your line. But in this play, can we see if he looked at the wing guy, Kurt, from the beginning, at the very beginning of the play?
Did he false start? Maybe that's what the wing called.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't call false.
I don't think he ever looked.
That's all we want to tell him, though, is just here's the line.
Here's the line. You don't tell it you're on or off. Here's the line.
That's their job to know if they're on or off.
Right? No, he's flagging for illegal formation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because he's letting it play out. You know, it wasn't a false starter, otherwise he would have shut it down.
Correct.
He called illegal formation. But here's the thing that I noticed on this line judge. Back it up a little bit, Kurt. Is he looking? What's he looking at now? Is he looking at the ball? Look at his bill of his hat. Now he turned his head.
I think that's where we're wanting to look right here. We're really hoping this action can get picked up because there's a lot of stuff that can happen. You're kind of tracking those players that are going to block in the back. One thing that I've started doing more and more is pre-snap saying K is white, R is black. Because once this starts happening and you see a block in the back or some action, you forget who's who.
Yeah.
So I've got to tell myself pre-snap who is kicking and who is receiving. So we're going to try. I'm going to let this play through. So obviously now we're in this KCI question. And so the debate here was we have no fair catch interference. We decided. I don't think he had a fair catch signal. And so then the question Terrence had was.
So the fact that you don't have fair catch protection, he still is protected from an unnecessary roughness, right?
Always.
Type foul,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So in my opinion, I think that was just kind of unnecessary hit by, as you guys call it, K. I don't think he needs to blow him up like that. I mean, the ball bounces off of his chest, and then he just pops in. And I know the halftime is over, but could you just show this play and then show the other one when we wrap up so they can see the difference?
Yep.
And then we'll stop.
We're gonna show this one. And I also want to comment here. You see how the ball pops up in the air and is recovered by K.
Okay. Still a kick, right?
Still a kick.
Yeah.
And I assume this is the same in all levels. You can't advance. K can't advance a kick. So this is going to be shut down, and we're going to have a bean bag at the end of the kick.
Spot, yeah.
This would be the end of the kick where possession changed right there. So we toss a bean bag right there where he recovered the ball, and in this case, it's going to be first down for K. So Terrence was talking about this next play, which shows a similar action.
But let's look at the difference of this. So the guy circled coming down as the K member, same action, but look how in this play, he comes and wraps his arms around him and makes contact as he's going to like tackle the guy versus that previous play. Can you jump back real quick?
Yep.
Are you able to kind of just toggle?
Let me get right to where you're talking.
And so in my mind, this first play right here, I think there's just like an extra that's just unnecessary versus see how he just blows his hands up and he blows him up, right?
Yep.
Versus that other one, he's actually trying to wrap up and tackle.
One more time, we'll show the difference. So Terrence is saying this player is coming down wanting to do some damage.
Boom.
He's wanting to do some damage.
Exactly. We'll go back to
And
the
the
other
other
one. He's wrapping up and actually trying to make a tackle, in my opinion. See that difference right there? That's why I would say that hit is legal versus that other one.
Yep. And unless I put them side by side, I was struggling to see that kind of difference.
But the game has started back on. So
Well, I got some guys here.
what?
Sergio would like us to continue the
Because
conversation.
it's a lousy game or what?
It's a lousy game, so
Well, you guys decide.
we're gonna run through some more plays. We're set up here.
We'll be out of control. We'll be here at midnight doing this.
We're gonna keep going. Keep this going. Chuck Hickey wants us to keep this going.
Okay.
So let's look at some more plays.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
And I'm gonna pop open a beer.
I hope you all are doing the same. Hey, we got press coverage right here, fellas.
What's press again?
He not only could reach out, but he did reach out and touch him at the snap. We got press coverage, a little bit of hand fighting. Ooh, and then a shove.
Wow.
How much are we going to let go here at the line of scrimmage?
So let it play. I mean, I don't think that's a whole bunch there.
Not enough.
No.
Bun.
But then he gets exactly.
Bunch of nothing.
Big ugly nothing.
Nothing. But then this guy just gets his butt kicked.
Yeah, then he gets a little shove at the end. Boom. Catches him mid-stride.
So did we take our eyes off of that? That guy that circled?
Where's he looking at? Where's the bill of his hat at?
Yeah, I think this is fairly common. We want that bill of the hat looking at the action. You know, obviously he might have some trash going on right here in front of him, but this kind of looks like a ball. Attention to the ball. So we want to make sure we get our view down on those players. A lot of nonsense is going to go on right here. Guys taking a shot in the back.
So the guy at the line of scrimmage, he's staying with this action right here at the numbers, right?
So the top of the screen, is that what you're talking about?
No, at the bottom here. So this guy is supposed to be staying with the action at the top with these two players.
With these two players here?
Right here, right?
Yeah, I think he's got to keep those in his peripheral. I hate that because then,
So then
I
what
think
about
he might survive, Mark.
the action at midfield? Those guys tangled up. Who's watching that?
So we've got a head linesman right here coming downfield.
Okay.
He should have left when the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. And we've got our line judge here looking through this. So we got limited number. We do have an umpire trailing from back here. We've moved him behind the punter. And so he should be coming up field looking down the middle as well.
So the umpire would take the action where that D is, right?
Right up in here?
Yeah. The umpire there. I mean, I just don't want our line of scrimmage guy at the bottom here
taking his eyes off
of
this.
this. Yeah. I mean, that's right in his lap.
Yeah.
I mean, you got one guy that just got his butt kicked. He may be pissed.
Yeah.
The other guy may go at him.
Yeah.
I don't want to officiate over something that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I totally agree.
We gotta know how that helmet came off.
That's probably what he's looking at.
He's looking for his head now, I think.
But it's this is a problem, I think, with the limited number of eyes. But I agree. You can't really let this wrestling match go away and just assume it's going to not happen. But we've got limited eyes downfield.
So the other thing, Kurt, if we back this up just a little bit more, let's take a look. The release, okay, we know the head lineman's releases after the punt is cleared, so we'll play it through here.
You want to see how far downfield?
And
5.
I think
10.
he's 5 yards now.
There's 15 right there.
No, I think that's 10.
There's 20. This I'm talking here. Is that where you're talking? Or are you talking here?
Right
Headlines,
now,
man.
now he's coming into the picture. Yeah,
That's
right there.
20.
Yeah, okay.
That's 20.
And I like he came down. He came down. Don't stop, head linesman. But keep coming. If the play takes you downfield, keep going downfield. Don't just say I'm going to stand here because that's where I should be. This is how many yards I can go. There's no wall there.
There is no wall.
There is no wall. But we want to keep our perspective. But are we dead ball officiating now too? Now that's the next thing.
I might go as far to say here, and let's talk about that head linesman at the top of the screen here. Is the spot of the ball a critical location in this play? Does anybody care plus or minus a couple yards?
You mean from a punt?
On a punt. The end of that punt location.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. It is they're going to line up and snap the ball where you put it. They're not going to get critical of that. Right? Put it on a line. Always put it on a line on that first down. But also in this case, I can't quite tell where that head linesman's looking, but he does not need to look straight down that sideline. No. That sideline is not going to cause a foul. I think we've still got to be looking back into some of this action that still might continue to develop late. Our back judge has the spot of the ball that, again, plus or minus a couple of yards. Who cares? It's bouncing around near the sideline. He can handle the ball. We're going to make sure that we don't, we've got this little conversation going on here. That's stuff that can turn into a shove and then a punch or something.
And why do we want to just be paying attention even more on punts and kickoffs? You said it earlier.
They're trying to make a name for themselves.
You got some knuckleheads on the field. They're ready to play football. They've been standing on the sideline for 45 minutes waiting for this chance to hit somebody, and then the stinking ball gets kicked out of bounds.
Exactly.
I still want to hit somebody, even though that ball went out of bounds. You can see it right here at 25.
Exactly.
Hey, Kurt, we got a question from the audience, or just a couple of opinions on having the umpire now positioned in K side on the kicking side of the ball.
Okay.
Are we losing something by having that umpire in the A's backfield, K's backfield versus ours side of the ball?
I think the answer is yes. We do lose in some situations and we gain in others. A deep kick like this down, we do say that the umpire leaves as soon as the ball is kicked, and we're hoping that he can get 10 to 20 yards downfield and maybe set up. So in this case, I think he would be off the screen. He's probably going to be about maybe here when it ends, so about the 35 by the time the play kind of ends. But I think we're still okay. We can see a lot of action downfield from that location. I mean, you got a big view of things. You can track some players. The reason we're proposing to move him out of the middle of the field is because he just is a traffic cop standing in the middle of an intersection. You got players flying by, and it's really hard to officiate. But we are giving away some distance there.
Good.
But it's really the same distance that the referee has. So if referees can do it where they're starting,
yeah.
I think
so does that mean the referees are faster than the umpires?
Well,
yeah,
maybe.
I think so.
Maybe. I know that one's a grading one. Let's see what we got here.
Where was that one where the guy let up, just kind of touched him, or
kind of breezed by? Let's
see
what we got here.
Or that other one.
Oh, this is I want to make sure this message gets conveyed to this group here. Let's all remember that on a kickoff, did we already talk about this earlier on live? I know we talked maybe before we went live. So always remember that a free kick cannot be caught by K ever. And if they do, actually, even if they touch the ball in the air that has not been grounded, we've got kick-catch interference. So here you'll see the ball come down. Even though it went 14 yards, it's caught by K. That is a foul.
That's
Always
right.
a foul, even if there was no receivers in the area.
So we talked earlier, I talked about environmental condition. This is the play here. Look at this here. That flag.
Oops, sorry. Yep.
So we got to be aware.
It's like they're on the moon.
Look, watch how that ball holds up in the air. And it comes straight down because of this here.
Yep. Great comment. All this information, I keep going back to having my conversation with Terrence. How do they slow the game down at the NFL level? And his comment was preparation, whether it be before the game starts or pre-snap. All these indicators are showing up. You're just processing stuff, and it causes all these details to fall in place when you got to make a critical decision. So
you were saying that even though there's no receiver trying to make an attempt on the ball, if K catches that, it's a KCI.
KCI.
Okay.
That's a unique rule, I think, in high school that
So
totally contrary to a punt.
Okay.
A kicking team can catch a punt if there's no receiver in the area, but not a free kick.
So let me ask you a question. So this ball is kicked into the ground first and then pops up.
Yeah, that totally changes.
Okay.
Was that the case here?
Yeah,
Did I miss that?
I think so. Run it back.
If that's the case, then we've got a near, who would be on the near side here? The line judge would come in and say,
is that kicked into the ground?
That's hard to tell.
No, it pooches up.
It seems like it goes up pretty quick.
Yeah, it pooches up.
But that is a critical comment. We've got to have support from here. We always talk about this official here.
Okay.
Probably can't see that because he's got players in the way. Our eyes are going to check that from these other positions.
So it's not the guy at the top that would pick up the ball being kicked into the ground?
Chuck thinks that's a pop-up kick.
Oh, you mean a pop-up like illegal kick where you drive it into the ground and it pops up? If that's the case, then we shut that down immediately.
Let's look and see if we can see that or not.
It could be. It could be.
And, you know, to Chuck's point,
that goes pretty high for a pop-up.
Yeah, it does. And it goes really high. But to Chuck's point, remember, guys, we put that rule in, what was it, 2 years ago, Kurt?
Yeah. Yep.
That if it's a pop-up kick, we have to kill that play. But look at that flag going. Jeez.
All right, let's see if we got we probably need to quit. These guys are tired of listening to us.
Exactly.
Although this looks like a nice crisp film. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this got a return. There we go. So talk about antennas up, Terrence. This stuff right here, when you got player
in chase mode, I call that.
In chase mode right there.
Yeah.
There's antennas are up. I like that. Our antennas are up, and we're going to go, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And maybe, did he get him on the side and it just looks like he went down forward? Maybe.
But I would, for us, I mean, this year especially, I mean, we're treating blocks in the back almost like a safety foul. I know it's only a 10-yard foul for us, but we're kind of treating it like as a major foul from a safety standpoint. So action or anything like that, they want us to call.
The way that blocked player looks on this, that looks pretty suspicious, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, but the first thing I think you should think about is that guy's in chase mode, right? And just like you said, don't do it, don't do it. He's in chase and you just watch him, don't do it, don't do it. But then right at the point of attack, boom, he blocks it. And that springs that guy to break out to the outside, doesn't it?
Totally. Yeah, that was the action that got him where he needed to be.
Okay. Does anybody else would anybody else have eyes on that or no?
That's got to be your support from this wing on the bottom here, right here.
Yep.
Or we should have another one at the top.
I should be seeing that head linesman come into the view right now.
I assume that's at the top of the screen there. The head linesman should be coming into view. I agree.
So we have another question that just came in from Chuck, and he was just saying, when do I transition to look at that block? So as soon as that punt returner touches that ball or catches it, I take my eyes off of him and start looking upfield. And you guys really have to, because you're short. I mean, you guys only have 5 guys out here. I mean, the only person that would see that foul would be the back judge, right? Am I right or wrong?
You talking about the block in the back?
Yeah.
In this case,
See,
I
right
like
now-
the comment because now if your back judge can get his eyes off
He
the
does.
ball,
He did get this block in the back though. The back judge did get
But
this
look
block.
right now. Well, I mean, what's the point of him watching the runner right now?
That's
I mean,
right.
Once he possesses the ball, what's the point of the back judge watching the runner?
There's nothing on the runner now.
Right?
Look at
He's
that
out of
block.
space.
The back judge did pick that up.
Well, it's a great job by the back judge for picking that up. Because as soon as this guy turn your eyes upfield, and you'll pick that block in the back up every time.
Yeah, I think you see a flag come out here.
There's no need to watch the runner.
Yep.
Kurt quits playing with my mouse.
Yep, he throws the flag.
There it is.
But that's because he turned his eyes upfield.
Yep.
That's right.
If he'd have been officiating a runner without any
We missed that.
contact,
Yeah.
or we'd have got it from the wings.
Yeah.
I still want those wings to be able to look through that stuff and see that action. That's where they need our back judge needs help. In this case, it was fairly easy because there was no action on that return man at that
Correct.
moment. He
But
could
if there
take
is
it.
action on there, this line of scrimmage guy needs to focus on that block.
These wings.
So let me
are
ask you a
good.
question on this. So we have this foul. Was that during the kick, during the return? That's just what we talked about. It's during the return, right?
During the
Right.
return.
But you need to report that to the referee,
Yep.
right?
During the
This is
return,
during the return.
blocking the back,
Right?
and we've got a flag
During
at
the
the 40.
return, the
I have a
report
block.
should be during the return. I have a block in the back.
By number
20,
25.
25 of K.
Exactly.
Don't let me guess.
Oh,
I may
25
guess
of the
wrong.
return.
Oh,
I'm 25 of return. I'm sorry.
Return
Correct.
team.
See, I already screwed that play up when I'm sitting in my chair.
Yeah,
Well, what do we got next, Kurt?
Are they telling us to shut up yet?
Are we wrapping up or no?
We're getting close, so
Okay, what do we have here? This might be too grainy to really.
yeah, I think
it's hard to see that
We
one.
blew past this one, Kurt.
This is a nice crisp film. Oh yeah, this was last year. This is
Again, chase mode here, guys.
so what do we have here? We've got a
We actually
what
got
is that a fair catch signal?
Let me see.
at the top of the screen.
It looks ugly.
You've got to be watching this because that's delayed.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
It almost looks like he's getting out of the way or something.
So my question to everybody here is he really trying to make an attempt to catch that ball, or is he just throwing his hands up to get out the way? Is he moving? In my opinion, I don't think he's trying to make an attempt to catch the ball. What do you guys think?
I agree.
So we don't want to give somebody a fair catch or catch interference if he's not making an attempt to catch the ball, do we?
No.
Good point.
So I
Very
also
good
think
point.
that the back judge here needs to start retreating to the goal line. Man,
So I always tell myself when I'm back there, especially down by the goal line, I always assume that they're not going to catch the ball all the time.
all right. Just say that again.
I always
Just
assume
assume.
that they're not going to catch the
So
ball
you need to be where
back by the goal
on
line.
the goal line.
So you just put that in the back of your head. I'm standing
Because
here
look,
at the 10 or whatever.
oh shit,
He's not going to catch the
oh
ball.
no.
So you actually tell yourself, you default to
He's
he's
not gonna
not
catch
going to catch it because the crazy stuff happens when he doesn't catch
Exactly.
it.
Right.
So you're
That's why I said.
So
preparing
right,
for that.
right now, our back judge, he has no idea what's going to happen there at the goal line. Nothing. We don't know.
Yeah, and I can't remember what the flag is for here. It's kind of a weird ending to this play. But,
Did he bat it?
so this is R in white, right?
Yes.
R in white
Correct.
running in here to
For what reason?
I don't know. This is one of
But-
those 16-year-old moves here. Like,
but-
what the hell are
But
you
the
doing?
point is, the back judge is just not in a good spot right
Yeah.
now.
Had he went through Terrence's recommendation, assume he's not going to catch it.
And where does, I mean, another thing, I mean, I think maybe he lines up on the 10-yard line prior to the snap, or where is he at?
You mean relative to the kicker?
Yeah, or the punt return.
Or, I mean the returner.
He's 5 yards.
I mean, when they're back by that goal line, I mean,
Give yourself some room.
just line up.
Just get on the goal line.
Get on
Just
the
go
goal
to
line.
the goal
It's
line.
easier to officiate going
Forward
forward than
than
it
going
is
backwards.
backwards.
So if he lines up at the goal line, I mean, he's just sitting
And
right
now he's
there
walking.
waiting for that.
And now he's walking. He's just, well, Kurt has this.
Well, at this point, though, he's out of position. I think hustling anywhere at this point is counterproductive
It's meaningless.
because as soon as that ball crosses that goal line, it's over.
Yeah.
So we don't worry about the end line in high school in this case because it's not a factor.
We got to figure out how did it cross the goal line.
Crossing the goal line is a critical piece of information here. If that ball just sits,
Is he calling a block on that guy?
looks like I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
was one of those dumb 16-year-old moves there is what that was.
All right.
I think we should quit.
All right. Yeah.
Hey guys, thank you
guys
so
have had
much.
enough. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back
Appreciate it.
again next week.
Have a great night.
Bye.
We got 23 watching.
Somebody had 2 drop off. Or 3. I mean, they just dropped.